great pleasure to be here to share not only what is special about Scadwell School, but also what is important about education generally. Scadwell School, as Dr. Cletus has said, is going to be a special school, it's going to be a unique school. And I want to take 10 minutes or so to talk you through some of the distinctive features that will make it special. And above all those, there is one phrase that you may like to leave with. Usually, parents are faced with a choice of whether their children will do well for themselves or whether they'll do great service to their communities and societies. Now, Scad School is going to join the best schools in the world by uniting these two aims of education. So it's our belief that if we do education in the way that we intend to do it, our students will leave fully equipped to do brilliantly for themselves by doing good for others. So what's special and unique about Scadwell School, and isn't actually offered by any other school as far as I know in Tamil Nadu, is that their students will do well by doing good. So I would just like to talk you through some of the underlying principles for that. And the key principle, as Dr. Cletus has said, is that we're based around two themes. One, enterprise, and the other is service. And we've grown out of this fine institution of SCAD, which does incredible work across 500 villages in rural Tamil Nadu. We're not a school that is about profit. We're not a school that is only concerned about the bottom line. We're a school that wants to bring the ethos and culture that SCAD has into the learning of children. And what finer, there's no finer blend really if we're seeking to do what we intend to do, which is give an education which is not only academic, but also builds character and builds values. And we have role models. Role models are extremely important in education. And we have wonderful role models in the chairman and the vice chairman. They embody what social enterprise can do in India, and they also embody the unity of personal success and social endeavour, which we want to have. We want all our students to embody those things. Look at this picture. This is what education used to be like. And I remember that kind of education from my own schooling, and I'm sure you do too. Children sat in rows of desks, the teacher as the purveyor of knowledge, and education that is based around a blackboard and a textbook. And one of my favourite phrases is this: if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. And the world is changing too fast to give our children the same education as we had in school. It simply will not equip them for life in the 21st century. It's often said that we're educating children for jobs that haven't been invented yet. To use technologies that haven't even been imagined. And in order to solve problems that haven't even been identified. The children we have in this first year of our school, they will be retiring from their working life in 2050, 2060, 2070. Imagine how different the world is going to be then. And our education needs to equip them for that world, not the one that we're living in now. So, that's the challenge. That's the challenge for all world-class schools of the time, of this particular moment in history. But you know, we're extremely lucky, we're extremely fortunate, because we know more about how children learn now than we ever have done in the past. This beautiful picture is something called a synapse. There are literally trillions of synapses in our brains, and they carry tiny little electrical currents between all the neurons of the brain. Now, 85% of what we know about how the brain works has only been discovered in the last 15 years. As we learn about the brain, it allows us to transfer that knowledge into how we skillfully educate children so that they don't just learn facts, but they attain a deep understanding of who they are as people, their place in the world, and how they can contribute to it. They also learn the knowledge and technical skills that will help them to have a successful life. Have a look at this picture. What do you see there? Mum? A rabbit. I see a rabbit too. Anybody see something different?
See some group of people standing there.
You see a group of people standing behind. Wow, that's interesting. and some people see a duck, exactly. Imagine, in the classroom I showed you before, where we all sit in rows and we all wait for the teacher to tell us, the 2 or 3 students in that class that are on the same wavelength as the teacher, the ones that view the world in the same way as the teacher, they will learn. But everybody above that will be bored, and everybody below that will be struggling. That is an old view of education. That's how education used to be. SCAD World School will train our teachers beautifully so they're able to tailor education to the individual needs of each student. They'll do that by personalising education. They'll do that by making sure that every ability range is catered for within the classroom, and that students outside the classroom can find their talents, their passions, by experiencing a wide variety of activities. So that if we have somebody who is going to be a world-class dancer, they have the opportunity to develop those talents. If we have somebody who is going to be a world-class horticulturalist, they have the ability to nurture those talents. And as I'm sure we will have people who are going to be world-class business people, they will have the ability also to nurture those talents. So this is part of the vision that we've come up with. This is what will define the students' experience at SCAD World School. SCAD World School students are enterprising and respond creatively to a changing world. They aim high and achieve well because they create opportunities not just for themselves but also for other people. And they'll be internationally minded, not only because they learn about things from other places, but because they learn about their own culture and are able to relate themselves to these new experiences that they have. And they'll aspire to develop the resources and skills they need to be the very best that they can be, both every time, every day in the school, and also planning to be the best that they can be in the future. That's challenging, ladies and gentlemen. It's a challenging task to provide that sort of education. But you know, if we don't provide that sort of education, then we're not going to be equipping our children for the skills and the understandings that they need. But a vision alone doesn't make a school. We have to have a very clear idea about how we're going to put that vision into practice. So we've carefully selected this curriculum because we're confident this is the best curriculum for the needs of our students. It's an international curriculum at primary level and in the middle years, followed by IGCSE and then the IB diploma from 2014. You might be reading this passage here, this wonderful quote from Albert Einstein.